Hey, welcome to another episode of Dating After a Toxic Relationship. So it's been a little bit since I made a video with the holidays and stuff like that, and then I woke up at one point super sick. My voice isn't 100% yet, but it's pretty much better than it was before. So I wanted to take some time today to make this video. And I want to talk about something that's a little bit different. It has a little bit to do with dating, but mainly this is another reason why I'm recording this today. So I wanted to talk about my fitness journey and how it kind of like mixed up with my toxic relationship and then eventually getting out of the toxic relationship, and how for me, like, my fitness journey kind of was like all over the place because of it. So I'm just going to give a little bit of a background to myself that probably a lot of people don't really know about, because I never really talk about this part of my life because this is usually pretty private. But obviously, like I said, there's a big reason why I'm going to be talking about this now. So after I had kids and all that stuff, I was pretty big. At my heaviest, I was 230 pounds. Yeah, that's 230 pounds. That's a lot. I'm 5'2". 5'2" and a half, but 230 pounds. So being a mom with 3 boys and everything else, and like just being heavy just really wasn't kind of my bag. I wasn't, growing up, I was really little, and getting heavy just wasn't much fun. So what I did was, I mean, there's a lot between like being heavy and then like how I decided to do this, but I'm not gonna, bore anybody with those insane details. But I got into Weight Watchers, lost a whole bunch of weight. I lost 100 pounds plus, more than 100 pounds. And when I was smaller, when I was leaner, I didn't have, oddly enough, I didn't have like a ton of excess skin. Not 100% sure why, but I just didn't. So I felt like I was just like skinny and wanted something more. So I decided to do a show, compete. And I was like, I'm going to do this. I had no idea what it would take. I had no idea what was involved. I had no idea how to even get started. So when I was at the gym, I was just, I talked to a fitness trainer who is a really good friend of mine, Teresa, and we sat down and had a conversation about it. She explained everything to me, what it was going to look like and this and that, and she helped me to get a trainer, Brandon, and he was amazing. Ended up with the whole team. I had Brandon as my trainer, I had Leah as my nutritionist, and I had my friend Monica as a posing coach, and she eventually became my track coach. So this journey of mine was really interesting. I was married, I had 3 kids, I had a lot of time because the kids were all at the age where they could go to school. So during the day, I would get up early in the morning before they would get up, get my workouts in, come home, do all that fun stuff. So competed, did a couple shows, that sort of thing. In the meantime, while I was doing all that, I learned that I love the track. I love sprints. I'm not a long distance runner. I don't enjoy that in any way, shape, or form. I like to sprint. I like to do track workouts. I like to spend my time there. And the track is really where I ended up kind of finding myself, figuring out sort of who I am, what I liked, that sort of thing. I remember the first time I went to track, yeah, had no idea what to expect. So I went and I had there were a bunch of other women there who are now, pretty good friends of mine. But they were all athletes. Either they were dances or they were, athletes or whatever. They had like experience with being on the track. This for me was my first time, and I remember after that I wanted to die. In the car on the way home, I was like, I'm never doing this ever again. This is absolute pure hell. And I hated every second of it. And then my friend Monica called me and she's like, hey, you gonna come back? And I was like, yeah. And I did. And I just, I fell in love with it. I loved running. I loved the 400. That's my favorite. I worked really hard at excelling with that. And for me, I loved it. So anyway, but then I got divorced, right? So here I am, I'm competing, I'm doing shows, I'm looking pretty good. I started fitness modeling, having a great time with that, thinking it's great and it's fun, and was. And then I got divorced. So as everyone knows who's followed me, I got divorced and ended up in a toxic, abusive relationship. And after I got divorced, after I got into this relationship, I gained a shit ton of weight back. The guy that I was with was massively insecure. Didn't like the fact that I went to the gym. Told me, you know, he didn't basically trust me. He thought I was going to the gym to like fuck people. Because, you know, every time you go to the gym and you walk to the door, there's usually a couple people fucking on the floor, right? I mean, obviously, that's what they do. If they're not on the gym floor fucking, they're definitely in the locker room fucking, because that's what people do at the gym. Like, they go to fuck other people. Just, you know, in public. It's just a big fuck fest at the gym. And so I had a hard time with it, because when I read as my marriage was ending and this whole thing was beginning or whatever, I was asked to be in a book. This guy wrote a book and he was talking about, you know, all different things, fitness, workouts, exercise, diet, blah, blah, blah. So he asked me to use some of my pictures if I would be willing to be in it for the transformation portion of it. So I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, I would love to do that to help other people. So I did. I sent in a picture that I had done with someone for a photo shoot. It was me in a white bikini and I looked amazing. And then when the book came out, this guy that I was with told me what a whore I was. You know, just being in a picture, just being a whore, trying to help other people, stupid whore. So he was upset. What kind of a woman does this? You're looking for attention from men. You're a mom. You shouldn't be doing these things. And then every time I went to the gym, it was horrible. It was just a terrible experience because he was so insecure. He was so upset with it. So I unfortunately made the decision to stop going to the gym, to stop working out. So once that happened, just downhill. Just everything was just all just downhill. So I gained about 60 pounds. I gained 60 pounds of weight. I was not caring about what I was eating, because for me, in this portion of my life, this relationship was that important to me, where I was like, it's easier for me to not work out. It's easier for me to not eat healthy, because I don't want to fight with him, because the fights with him were just massive. And instead of walking away, which obviously I should have done, I didn't. I stayed and I trashed my whole body. I trashed my whole body, physically, mentally, emotionally, all of it. And then I remember when the book came out with my picture in it, I got a call from someone who asked me to do, it was the transformation thing. Like, you lost so much weight and you look amazing and you're going to inspire all these people. So, you know, would you like to be in these 2 magazines, blah, blah, you'll do a shoot, other stuff, which was amazing. And when I called to tell him this, he freaked out and told me that I'm just looking for attention from other guys, that, you know, all these different things. So I said no. And anyone who knows, anyone who's been in the fitness industry, whether you're competing or whatever, like, your big goal is to get into these magazines. Like, you want to get into them. And it's not because you want attention from other people. It's because you work so freaking hard on your body and it's a passion of yours and you love it. And that's an amazing compliment to, like, have yourself in these magazines and have people check out all the hard work that you've done, especially if you lost so much weight and you look really good and you want to inspire other people, which is what I wanted to do. So I ended up saying no. Everything kind of went downhill from there. And it was really tough because I missed myself. I missed who I was. I missed the track. I missed doing that. I would try to sneak off to the gym, and he had a tracker on my phone. So he would see where I was if I was at the gym. So it was just easier for me to, like, to not go. So I gained weight, and the bigger I became, the happier he was, because he felt like people weren't going to be interested in me. But the crazy thing is like, it's not necessarily your body that people are interested in, it's your personality, and it's like who you are as a human. So it's not like, oh, you're a shitbag human, but you got a great body, let's get married. It's not how that works. You can have a body that's not amazing and have this amazing personality. I mean, he doesn't know this, but, like, I got hit on all the time because I have a great personality. So it had nothing to do with my body, it had everything to do with me. So it was a really tough thing. And then toward the end of that relationship, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do this again. I'm going to get my body back. And I started working out again. And thank God the relationship didn't last. But it was, fitness for me was, it wasn't always about how I looked. It wasn't always about, I got to get this body so I can impress other people, or I have to have this body so I can look good and, you know, do whatever. It was more about how I felt about myself. Like, going in and getting a good workout in was such an amazing high. So for me, I don't look like much. Like I said, I'm 5'2", and I'm strong as fuck. Like, that's the thing, is it doesn't look like I am. It doesn't look like I can really do much. But anytime I worked with either a new trainer or, you know, a new fitness program, people were just like, what the hell? So I remember, like, after the toxic relationship ended and I took some time to be, in a sense, like a lump on a log. Like, once these toxic relationships are over, the last thing you want to do is, you're not, like, he's not going to move out or you're not going to move out. The next day you're like, okay, cool, he's gone. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to get my life back. La, 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 everything's great. No, you have to, like, withdraw, in a sense, from everything. Because the relationship is so, I compare it in a sense to, like you're planning a wedding, right? Like, you're planning a wedding for a whole year. Like, you got to get the flowers, you got to all this crap. And it's so busy, it occupies all of your time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Then you get married, it's the big day, the big wedding is here, blah, blah, you're married, whatever. The next day after the wedding, it's like, wait, all this shit preoccupied my time, now what do I do? So it's the same sort of thing where it's like, this toxic relationship just, usually the people are such, they're so needy, and you have to take care of their needs, and you're always fighting, and you're always trying to, you know, prevent yourself from getting into trouble. You're walking on eggshells. You're kind of a wreck. So once the person's gone, like really truly gone, not just like gone for a couple days and then comes back, but once truly gone, you withdraw from it, and mentally it fucks you up. It fucks you up mentally. It's a really tough situation to be in. So for me, after that ended, I had PTSD. I was overweight. I felt like crap about myself. I had body image issues, which I had before the toxic relationship, but then during the toxic relationship, like when you're first meeting someone, you're opening up to them and you're telling them like, oh, these are my insecurities, and he knew what my insecurities were. So anytime he would get mad, he would throw it in my face, and he would say really horrible, mean things. So for me, there are parts of my body that I don't want to ever show anybody because of what, like, he would say about it. And it's hard now because, I don't know, it's in your head, and it's really hard sometimes to get rid of. But, like, so there, you know, certain parts of me that I don't want to show. There are certain parts that I really want to work on, you know, to make it more improved for myself, because before, like I said before, I had this toxic relationship, they were insecurities, and now they're just, like, magnified by, like, 1,000,000%. So once I started feeling ready, once I started feeling like a human again, once I wanted to get out of the house and do something, I made a decision to go to this new spot, F45 in Lakeway, Texas. That I went to one Lakeway or BK or whatever. But I wanted to go to that because it wasn't the regular gym. And like I said, PTSD. I wasn't ready to be in large groups of people. I also didn't want to go to the gym I used to work out at because my picture was on the wall. My picture's on the wall at a couple different places that I really don't want to walk into because people knew who I used to be, how I used to be fit, how I used to compete, how I used to look a certain way. So I didn't want to go to the same places. I didn't want to deal with people. I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for me to kind of start over again, to kind of rebuild from the ground up. So I found F45, and it was like, you know, 45-minute workout with like weights and conditioning. And when I got there, I found an amazing group of people. The instructors were awesome. I felt happy about being there because there were people in there, but it wasn't a scary situation for somebody with PTSD. It wasn't overly crowded. It was a really great place for me to get like my footing. So I did that, and then eventually I moseyed back to the gym, a different gym, but the regular gym, because now I felt like my fitness goals I really couldn't obtain at F45, so I really needed to start lifting again. I needed to start doing different things like that again, so I did. But it wasn't always easy, and it's not always easy, and it's hard because like when I got divorced, I was working out with a trainer who is amazing, the best trainer ever in the whole wide world. His name is Jason. He doesn't do it anymore, which is super selfish on his part. But I remember going to see Jason after my divorce, and I would sneak there, of course, like I said. But he would train me, and I would go in, and he would listen to me cry. Not like, oh, Jason, blah, 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 but just seriously like sitting there just bawling my eyes out because the divorce obviously is super tough. And then you know, trying to get on with the rest of your life. And it was just like a really, really hard place for me. So for me, like the gym was like a place to go when I was happy, a place to go when I was sad, a place to go when I was scared, a place to go when I just needed to get away from people. So it wasn't always about like going there to like get a better body or to look a certain way. It was about the way I felt. And that's, I think, the big piece that people don't understand is like you go work out and you do different things like that because of how you want to feel, not because necessarily how you want to look. Obviously, looking good is a bonus. Duh, don't freaking send me emails. I know this. I'm not stupid. But what I'm saying is, like, it's mainly, for me, the way I felt about myself. Like, after, like I was saying, like, after a workout, that's really tough for me to get through. I felt accomplished. No. Did my body look different when I left? No. But was it going to eventually? Yeah, and it did, obviously. But, like, you have these little goals that you set for yourself where you want to lift, you know, X, Y, and Z or whatever, run this or whatever. So you have, like, little goals that you set for yourself, not necessarily goals for the rest of the world, but the goals for you. So going in and working with Jason after my divorce, and then I went and worked with Jason a little bit toward the end of that toxic relationship, and did the same thing again, where he was great because he kind of helped me through a little bit. But the gym is also a place where you can go and you can cry. After my book came out, I had started going, you know, to work out again. And I remember going and lifting weights after I found out about the cheating that my ex did. And I didn't realize the cheating happened until after my book came out. I got emails, I got phone calls about all of that. And it wasn't like I was mad because, oh, he, you know, did all this stuff to me. I was mad at myself for not paying attention to my gut and this and that and the other thing. And I remember going to the gym and just like lifting and crying my eyes out while I was lifting. I remember I was shoulder day and I was just bawling my eyes out, but I kept lifting, I kept doing it. So for people who are like, I'm too emotional, I can't go to the gym. I've seen people cry at the gym. I've never seen anyone fuck on the floor at the gym, but I've seen people cry at the gym. I've seen people, you know, get through some seriously heavy shit at the gym because it's a place where you can go and you can put your headphones on and you can cry, you can laugh, you can do whatever the hell you want. No one's going to come over and be like, why are you crying? No one's going to come over and be like, ma'am, can you leave because you're crying? That's not going to happen. So it's a place you can kind of go and even though you're in public, you're kind of opening up and being yourself. And just going, even if you go walk on the treadmill, even if you go ride the bike, even if you do a little light workout, you know, get a gym partner or don't. Get a trainer who can teach you what to do for a little bit and then go from there. Or even if you can't, go to the actual gym, financially, blah, blah, all this stuff, and go for a walk, go for a run, go to the track. Hop a fence at the track. I hop a lot of fences at the track. If I ever go to jail, you'll know it's because I got busted going into a track illegally. But find what you want. Find what makes you happy. And just because you are sad doesn't mean you can't go work out. And just because you feel like a broken person doesn't mean you can't go work out. You never know. You might put yourself back together while you're there. That's what I did. And now I go, I do my thing. I'm at a new gym where no one knows me. Well, they know me now. Like, they know who I am now. Nobody really talks to me. I've had a few people come up to me and ask me if I was who I am because of my book and stuff like that, which was, you know, kind of cool. But for the most part, I don't really know anybody. And I don't go to the gyms with my picture on the wall anymore. Not because I don't, like, want to. I'm just not that person anymore. Now I'm a different person, and I'm starting over again. And it feels really good. And I really enjoy it, and I really like it. So it was a tough journey with this fitness because I kind of went, you know, in and out and looked like a certain way when I was competing. I liked how I looked, but then mentally it kind of messed up with me, so I'll never compete again. And fitness modeling was super fun. I did a lot of cool shoots. I did a lot of fun stuff. I thought that was awesome. I love the camera. I like to pose, even though there's a certain someone in my life that thinks I don't, but I really do. So I think that stuff is great, but I'll never do it again. I think it's fitness for me now is an escape, something I can go and do, where I definitely want to wear certain jeans again. I definitely want to do that, but mainly it's for the way I feel when I come out. So it's not always about just going in and like looking this way. It's not intimidating because I can tell you this, being on both ends, like being super massively fit competitor versus the big, you know, overweight person. Like when you go to the gym, there isn't one person judging you. There isn't one fitness competitor that's like, oh, look at that person. Because you know why? Usually when you're a fitness competitor, you're way too focused on yourself and you're looking at yourself. You're not looking at anybody else. at all. So if you're feeling like, you know, you don't want to go because if you're intimidated and no one cares. And don't take this the wrong way, but nobody gives a shit about what you're doing at the gym. Not one person. Unless you're doing something wrong, someone might come over and help you. But nobody's going to be looking at you and being like, oh, what's this person doing? Nobody cares. Like, just go, because nobody cares. Like, nobody's going to say anything. And it's a good place to go. Like, no matter what you're feeling, happy, sad, mad, whatever. I found, for me, I like going at night when there's nobody there, because I still don't like crowds. I'm still not a huge fan of people, so I figured out the best time to go to my gym where I don't have to really deal with a lot of people. I don't like to wait for stuff. If someone's using something I need, it's just gonna piss me off. But so I got my own groove, and I kind of figured out like the stuff that I like to do and don't like to do, and how I like to lift and all that. I have not gotten back on the track because the track here, they locked up. So I will be hopping that fence, and we'll see how that goes. But I don't know. I think it's a tough thing. It's I sometimes look back on it now and I get really pissed at myself for giving up on who I was and who I was becoming because of a person that came into my life and made me feel less than, and made me feel like I was doing something wrong just by going to the gym. I don't know if he thought like what I was wearing at the gym or whatever, but I was always wearing sweats. I always had a hat on. No one ever talked to me. I don't know that I've really ever been hit on the gym. I mean, a little hit on in the gym, like a little bit here and there. Lately, I have been a little tiny bit more, but like back then I really wasn't. Because like I said, people are focused on their own thing. They're not really there for all the stuff. But I do get pissed at myself sometimes because I go back and I'll do a workout and I'm like, shit, this sucks. Starting over sucks. So if you're sick of starting over, stop starting over. Just stop doing what you're supposed to be doing. But I do have a reason why I'm doing this whole fitness thing and kind of putting it in with toxic relationships. I do have a big reason for that, but I'm not ready to announce that yet. But it is exciting for me because I've been wondering how I can mix like helping people with their toxic relationships, getting out of it and dating again with my fitness journey and maybe a fitness journey of their own. So I figured out a way to marry the two. So I'm waiting for a few things to happen before I announce what I'm doing, but I'm really, really excited about it. So I think will be such an amazing thing to do to like help people recovering from their toxic relationships, helping them to date, and then also helping them, you know, with their fitness a little bit and kind of understanding that being fit isn't or going to the gym isn't just about looking a certain way. It's about feeling a certain way. And it's about an escape. And it's about finding a spot that you want to go to where you feel happy and you feel secure and nobody can take that away from you unless you let them. So I'm super psyched about what I have in the works right now. We're working on this right now so I can, you know, get it all together and then make my announcement. So I really can't wait to do that. Anyway, so that's my video for today. So if you have any questions or whatever, just let me know. Check me out on social media. Make sure you subscribe and then you like this video and then share it with people so other people can kind of see like what's going on. And then check out my website, kellysmithauthor.com.